y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking to you about what it's like moving from the big old state of Texas to a city like Asheville, North Carolina. So stay tuned. My name is Kelsey Simmons. I am a realtor in the North Carolina and South Carolina area, which means I can help you find a home either in North Carolina or South Carolina, or sell a home if you're needing to do that as well. And I help people every single day learn all about North and South Carolina. So let's get started. So when it comes to moving from a state like Texas to a city like Asheville, North Carolina, it's definitely going to be a transition. Now, depending on where you're at in life, it might be a big transition, it might be a small transition, but it will be a transition. Specifically because both of the states are completely different. Texas is going to be a lot different than Asheville, North Carolina. So let's get into kind of what the differences are and what characteristics that they might share. So when we're talking about the weather specifically, Asheville, North Carolina is going to be a lot chillier than Texas, especially when fall and winter come around. So during the summer, they're kind of neck to neck with the heat. Texas still being a little bit hotter than Asheville, North Carolina. But Asheville specifically experiences all 4 seasons compared to Texas that might only experience maybe 1 or 2 seasons throughout the year. Asheville, we're going to have fall, summer, winter, and spring. And Texas, they usually only have probably summer and fall. I would say it doesn't get too cold there, but it does get really hot there. Another reason people like to move to Asheville, North Carolina is because of the leaves changing every fall. It's very beautiful to see. We have tourists come every year just to come look at the leaves change, and it's very beautiful. So the leaves do change every October. I don't know if that happens in Texas or not, but I do know that is a big attraction that happens in Asheville, North Carolina. Another thing to think about are natural disasters. Now, Texas is more prone to natural disasters because it is flatter land. It's right there on the coast by, the water and everything like that. So it does get more affected by natural disasters. We've seen a lot of flooding in Texas. We've seen hurricanes. We've seen tornadoes, specifically because of the flat land and it being right there by the water. Now, Asheville, on the other hand, you can think about it as being protected by all of the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains that Asheville has to offer. So a lot of the natural disasters like the hurricanes and the tornadoes are, Asheville's kind of shielded by those mountains. Now, I'm not going to say we don't get flooding. I'm not going to say we don't get, a lot of rain here and there, but it's not as severe as you'll see with states like Texas. Now, Asheville does, on the other hand, because it is in the mountains, it does get a lot colder than you will see in Texas. So if you are okay with the cold, then that's great. If you're not so good with the cold and you like it to be warm all year round, then that is something to think about before moving to Asheville, North Carolina, because Asheville does get very cold in the fall and the winter, and it being kind of surrounded by mountains, keeping all that cold air in, doesn't really help the temperature when it gets really cold either. When we're talking about key characteristics of Asheville, North Carolina or Texas, a lot of key characteristics that people know Asheville for are definitely going to be the Blue Ridge Mountains, the hiking, the breweries, the art. People tour Asheville every single year just to be able to hike our beautiful mountains, see our beautiful overlooks, enjoy all the different breweries that we have to offer, look at all the art and architecture that we have to offer as well. And Asheville has been named Beer City multiple time and time again for years now, because we have some more breweries per capita than any other city in the United States. Now, in terms of some key characteristics for Texas, it is known as the second largest state in the United States because it is really big And there are tons of really well-known cities in Texas as well that you can explore. Houston, Austin, Dallas. But that does mean, because it is such a big state, it can hold a lot more people. So it is a lot more crowded and the traffic is a lot more hectic as well. Another thing Texas is known for is that it has a very big oil presence, has a very big energy presence. So if you do have a job in that field, then they probably have multiple job opportunities there when it comes to the oil industry and the energy industry. And lastly, some other things that are known about Texas is that it is heavy on the cowboy culture, the rodeos, and things of that sort. It's also mainly flat land in most of Texas, and it is warm pretty much all of the time. Now, when we're talking about activities, there are tons of activities in both Asheville, North Carolina, and Texas. A lot of the activities in Asheville are nature-based. A lot of them revolve around hiking or being in nature or kayaking or things of that sort. And we also have the largest estate in the United States, known as the Biltmore House. A lot of people love to come check out the Biltmore House. It is a mansion that was built in the late 18 It is a mansion that was built in the late 1800s, and it is very prestigious, very beautiful. A lot of people love to come see it, especially during Christmas time when they have all the Christmas lights and everything going on. Another historic building that a lot of people love and know Asheville for is the Grove Park Inn. A lot of beautiful fireplaces. A lot of celebrities have stayed there. A lot of presidents have stayed there. And so it has a lot of rich history. It has a beautiful Mediterranean spa, has a golf course, and it's just so much to offer. And last but not least, a lot of people go to the breweries that Asheville has to offer. So like I said, we have the most breweries per capita in Asheville, North Carolina. And once they get done with the breweries, they can tour around downtown Asheville, go check out some art, because we have tons of art studios in the area, art museums that people love about the city. Now, Texas, on the other hand, has a lot of activities as well. They have the Alamo, they have the Space Center, they have Galveston Beach, and they have multiple museums and art galleries. Of course, it being such a big state, they have so much to offer. You can go visit Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. So Texas is not short of any activities that there is to offer. But if you do move to Asheville, North Carolina, we do offer direct flights to Houston. It's only a 2-hour flight. We do offer direct flights, so you can always go visit Texas and enjoy those activities that they have to offer. Next is the cost of living. Now, when it comes to gas and groceries, Texas and Asheville is kind of neck to neck. Gas is actually a little bit cheaper in Texas than Asheville, North Carolina, but they still are pretty neck to neck. I think everywhere in the country right now is experiencing prices rising, whether it is gas, groceries, bills, and things of that sort. Everything is getting more expensive. But if you were to move from Texas to Asheville, it's not going to be too big of a transition when it comes to the cost of living. Now, the one thing that you might see is that you use more of your heat during the winter in Asheville because it is colder. So that might be a difference. But in Texas, you use more of your AC because it's hotter. So it just really depends. Like, do you want to use more heat or do you want to use more AC? And last but not least, housing prices. Now, Asheville has been coined as one of the most expensive cities in North Carolina. And the reason for that is because it is, one, surrounded by tons of mountains. So we have less land that we can build on, which means the prices of all the other homes go up because there is less supply that we have, but still that same amount of demand. So the prices are high because of the mountain terrain, because we are limited on what we can build on. It's also a very popular place to live. It's been named one of the top places to live in North Carolina for a very long time. It's been named one of the top places to live in the country for a very long time. So a lot of people are moving to Asheville, North Carolina, and raising up the prices. We have a lot of people as well that bring their work from home jobs, specifically from New York, Florida, California that can bring that California salary with them to Asheville. A $400,000 house to a California native is going to be a lot cheaper because what they see in California is a lot more expensive. So they're able to bid over asking $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to get that home in Asheville, which again raises up the price of housing. So right now, what we're seeing in Asheville, North Carolina, in terms of average home prices, is really in the range between $400,000 to $450,000. That is pretty much where you're going to get a nice family home. Now, while the home prices can be a lot more expensive than that, I've seen them go up to $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 for a simple 3-bedroom house. It just depends on what area you're in, and the closer that you want to be to downtown Asheville, the more expensive it's going to be. So if you're on the outskirts, such as Weaverville or Hendersonville or Arden or Fletcher or anything like that, or Candler, Canton, then you are going to be able to purchase a home in that $400,000 range, but still only have maybe a 15 to 20 minute commute to downtown Asheville as well. Now, since I am just doing the state of Texas, it's going to vary a lot because, you know, we have all different types of cities in Texas, all different types of price ranges. But from what I've seen, you know, just doing my research from websites like Zillow and Redfin and things of that sort, the average home price right now in Texas is going to be around $350,000. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on what area of Texas you're in. But that sweet spot is going to be around $350,000. Now, the reason why I think prices are cheaper in Texas than Asheville, because the popularity that Texas is getting now for people wanting to move there and live there is the popularity that Asheville has had for years now. So it's just now starting to become more popular place for people to live. Also, they have more flat land, so they're able to build a lot more homes than we are able to do in Asheville, North Carolina. I think that's why we're seeing it be a lot cheaper. There's a lot more places that still need to be developed. There's a lot more places that, you know, still need to be upgraded. So that is why Texas hasn't seen those high prices like Asheville has seen yet, just because it is starting to grow that popularity and there's so much more opportunity to build and develop in that state compared to Asheville, North Carolina. So there you have it, y'all. I hope this video was helpful when helping you decide if you are going to make that move to Asheville, North Carolina. If you are interested in the area or you have more questions, don't hesitate to shoot me a call or a text. I will put my number in the video so that way you have it. And as always, I'm Kelsey Simmons, your North Carolina and South Carolina realtor, here to help you with anything when it comes to moving to the North Carolina and South Carolina area. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video to anyone who might find it helpful. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.